What's good, y'all? Welcome back to Reek Knows Hoops. I'm your host, Tyreek. Be sure to leave a like and subscribe if you are new. This is a place where we talk all about NBA basketball, so if you love hoops, this is the place for you. And today, in the installment of the What's Next series, which is a series where we talk about what's next for some of your favorite NBA teams, we'll be talking about the Portland Trailblazers. Talked about them quite a bit this offseason, mainly surrounding Damian Lillard trade rumors. But today, we're just going to be talking about the moves that they did make in this offseason and maybe some moves that could happen down the line. So let's get into it. And as you can see, we got some of the Trailblazers transactions in this offseason brought up. They didn't really do a whole lot. I think that is one of the scary parts, that they didn't really do a whole lot. And Dame did go up to the podium during Team USA exhibition games, and he was like, I would like to see us do more. We have, this team is not good enough. Basically, that's essentially what Damian Lillard said. And they got a little bit better, but it really didn't happen until they made the big move, which was the Larry Nance trade. That was a nice move that they were able to get Larry Nance in a 3-team deal from the Cleveland Cavaliers. I think he's somebody that can provide a lot on the defensive side to this team, and he adds a different dimension that they haven't really had in a couple years since the departures of Al-Farouq Aminu and Mo Harkless. Robert Covington provided some of that last season, but he couldn't do all of the defensive gritty work by himself. Derrick Jones Jr. didn't really work out as they had hoped. So this is a definite upgrade in the front court for the Portland Trailblazers. So we're looking at the Trailblazers team. They made a couple small minor moves, like bringing in Ben McLemore, just some shooting. They brought in Tony Snell, who knows how much time he'll get on the court. But they lost Carmelo. They lost Zach Collins, who really hasn't played a lot the last couple of seasons. Also lost Derrick Jones and Enes Kanter, who's the backup big for this team. And they did draft Greg Brown III from Texas. We'll see what he can provide. That was, I think, a pretty decent pickup in the second round. And, yeah, Portland didn't really get much better, but I still believe with the roster that they have right now, that's still a playoff team. You got Dame, you got CJ, Norman Powell got a payday in the offseason. I believe 5 years, $90 million. You got Robert Covington, you got Larry Nance Jr., who we also mentioned. You also have Yusuf Nurkic and some other guys. Maybe Anthony Simmons takes a leap this season as well. But I think the interesting thing is what could potentially happen. Is this the Trailblazers roster going into the season? Is it going to be the roster going into the playoffs? Who knows? But there definitely has been some talks on the tables surrounding a potential Ben Simmons trade. So let's get into that. So this is a Bleacher Report article. I believe this came out today on the 6th of September. And I believe Andy Bailey wrote it. It was 4 blockbuster trades, but we're gonna focus on this one. I think the article is titled like trades that could happen before the season, and we're gonna focus on this one because it involves the team that we're talking about and a player that's been in a lot of conversations, not only on this channel but just in the NBA world since the end of the postseason. So Ben Simmons potentially going to the Portland Trailblazers. The trade would look like Ben Simmons for CJ McCollum, and the Blazers send a first-round pick that is a pick swap and then a 2024 first-round pick. That shows you just how low Ben Simmons' value has got. Not that CJ is not still a good player. I'm a big fan of CJ McCollum. I believe he could thrive in a situation in Philadelphia, even though he's already thriving right now. And he was having one of his best seasons of his career before he broke his foot last season. But I think, like, I don't know really how a Ben Simmons, Damian Lillard core would look. I believe they are a better team. Does that vault them into contention? I don't really think so. You would have a logjam really in your front court because essentially Ben would be running like the 3 or the 4. You would still have Covington. You would still have Larry Nance. You would have a lot of players that would need to get time. But I think they still look like a better team after a Ben Simmons trade because you can move Norman Powell to the 2 spot, which he can play. He's a 6'3" guard, essentially. You can have a Ben Simmons, Larry Nance, or Robert Covington, whichever way you want to run it. And then you got Nurkic, and then you can run, some lineups where, you have Larry Nance at the 5 or Covington. A lot of defensive versatility there. I think that makes them a much better team when it comes to the playoffs. They do lose an added punch that they had with CJ McCollum, but maybe, like I said, Anthony Simmons could take a step up. Norman Powell might be able to be a little more free, play like how he was playing in Toronto. I don't hate this move. I don't love it, but I think it has potential to be something that can be great down the line. Personally, I think it's time for Ben Simmons to get out of Philadelphia. I think that time is up. It's up in Philly. And I think as far as this Blazers backcourt, it's been a fun ride while it's been lasting, but I think they exceeded their expectations by making the conference finals before. I believe that is the peak on this team. I don't think that they can do any better. And there's no really ways that they can make this roster, much improved without getting rid of one of those guys. And obviously, if you get rid of Dame, you're pretty much hitting the reset. If you get rid of CJ, you hit the retool a little bit and potentially make yourself a better team. And this Ben Simmons move could be that for this Blazers team. Then this was an article released last week. This one's by Adam Wells, also on Bleacher Report. Shout out to BR. That the Blazers are not sure about a Ben Simmons fit, which I can totally see why. Ben Simmons is not a player that you can just shove into a already established system. He's not one of those guys like some guys that just fit well with any team. He's not one of those guys because he has such a intricate skill set, and what he brings to the table is very rare. It's not one of those skill sets that you get from a usual All NBA caliber player. So they're not really too sold on maybe the fit. But I say you can pull the trigger, man. I believe you really can. And worst case scenario, if it doesn't work out, you still have some very talented players. And if maybe Dame would want out, you have Ben Simmons, who I still believe you can build with Ben. I still believe that you can build a team around Ben Simmons, and that would be a very good building block. I believe he's under contract for at least the next 2 seasons. So, I want to know how Trailblazers fans feel about this. Honestly, I want to see how they feel about this because, obviously you want to keep Dame around if you're a Blazers fan because he keeps you as a playoff team, as a competitive team. But if you add Ben, what do Blazers fans think? Do they think that takes them to the next level? Are they relatively the same team, or are they a much improved team? Who knows? I personally think that they can be much improved, or it could fail. You never really know, but we got to see what Chauncey Billups has. This is going to be his first year head coaching. They made the coaching change finally. So that's going to be, an interesting season for the Blazers. But I think as long as you have Dame and you have at least a competent team around him, you're a playoff team. And we've seen this man put on his Superman cape multiple times and will this team into the postseason in years when they probably shouldn't have made the playoffs. So, it's still going to be fun watching Dame. I think a lot of NBA fans want to see Dame request a trade, but that's just not the type of dude that he is. He's very loyal to that soil in Portland, man. So I respect him for that. And hopefully the Blazers can, improve their roster even more, as this season, progresses, or maybe even before the season starts. I don't know. Ben Simmons in Portland with Dame wouldn't be too bad, man. Wouldn't be too bad. So let me know what y'all think, man. This is the What's Next on the Portland Trailblazers. Be sure to tune in next time because I might be talking about your favorite team.